don't kill yourself in bathtub, don't knife yourself either, do not berate yourself either, do not drink bleach even though I'm fucking thirsty, and call this a marriage.
Open up, shut it down like a Macintosh. Open up, open here. Cold as ice and Coca-Cola. Open up.
This video will be very long, so bear with me, but I think what's said in this video can help and is worth it, so please enjoy and sit back and listen to the words.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and by the title and little intro thingy, you might know that today isn't going to be a happy, clappy, crazy video. Today is going to be more of a serious video, and for a while I have been planning and wanting to do this video, but I've kind of postponed it and I thought, oh no, it can wait. But now I think it is truly the right time to post it and to actually get on with it. Today we're talking about suicide. First, I'm going to be talking about personal experience and how to help people if you're struggling with it. And then we're going to go on a whole montage of other videos people have done to help you guys if you're struggling, or just to try and encourage you and lift you up. I do want to say that this might be distressing or triggering or not the great for some viewers. If you've struggled with this in the past and you feel like you just can't deal with it, that's okay. You don't have to like you can go from the video now. But this video was just made to try and help people if they are struggling, or to give you a heads up of what people are feeling sometimes, and just I tried to do it to help others. So if it, instead of helps, distresses you or anything, I apologise in advance and I hope you'll be okay. First thing I want to say is a lot of people have suicidal thoughts, or nearly everyone has it at one point in their life. So if you are having them or have had them, then don't feel alone. Definitely tell someone. After a while, if you hold everything in, like keep pushing it deep down, instead of like just getting rid of it and putting it out and crying or telling someone, then that's going to get a lot worse, and in the end it's not going to be a very good road to take. I personally have struggled with suicidal thoughts a couple times. I'm not going to go into detail, but first I thought like I had a lot of very low self-confidence. Like 2 years ago, and like up until P7, I had really low self-confidence. I didn't like the way I looked, I hated the way I spoke, I just didn't like myself. And we all have that. We all strive for perfection in ourselves and in what we do, and when we don't get perfection, then we just get depressed and we pick to focus on the bad things about ourselves and to pick ourselves away and to make ourselves more upset because we are not like Kylie Jenner or like all these big stars we see out there in the world today. Us as humans, we are so used to seeing these perfect images of people and going, wow, I want to be like her, or I want to look like her, or he's cool, when really we should just focus on what makes us like good and perfect the way we are, because perfection is not looking like that, having that body, sounding like that, doing stuff like that person does. Perfection is just you being happy in yourself and comfortable in your own skin. I literally cannot stress this enough, that you are perfect the way you are, the way you were created to be. And you're unique and you're amazing in your own way, and without you our world would not be the same, because every individual person put together creates our world that we have today. The second time I had suicidal thoughts was when my parents started like separating, which then led to a divorce. Again, I'm not going to go into full details why they divorced and stuff, because that's personal to me and to my family, but it was a huge shock because they'd been married for like 14-15 years, and that whole time like I believed it was a perfect family, and I grew up in a Christian home, so they didn't believe that divorcing was right unless there was like some sort of abuse involved or something really bad that would, or cheating. So we all thought that they were going to be married for like till they were grandparents. So I really struggled with that, and I personally have been a Christian since I was 7. So one thing that did save me and gave me the push to like keep going was the fact that I did believe in God. And to be perfectly honest, a year ago I would be afraid to say I'm a Christian. Like last year, if you would have asked me about Christian, I'd be very kind of nervous about it. I probably wouldn't say a lot. But now I just don't care, because the fact that I believe in God and that He's there just really helped me, and without Him I'd probably be dead by now. So what personally helped me is that I did talk to somebody. I had a teacher in my primary school, and I had all my friends surrounding me, and then I would literally go into school and cry every Thursday because I couldn't take everything that was going on in my life. Everything had this huge switch from this one, what I thought was perfect family, to this huge mess of hurt and stuff.
I apologise for being speechless, this video is quite emotional.
So we started separation at January 2018 when I was P7, and it lasted till first year in June, July, August kind of time. So that was going on for a bit of time. So this whole time I was pretty upset. I did get over it at one point, and then I went back to being upset about it because more and more things started piling on, and it was so stressful and hard. But I was able to talk to people, and I was able to express my emotion, and part of me expressing my emotion was actually the songs I write. So a lot of you know The Lonely Sky, that was to do with a lot of things I was dealing with, so I just got it out in a song rather than getting it out in harmful ways or harming myself or hurting other people around me. But the truly important thing to know is everyone has or is going through something. You might not know what it is, but it's important to keep that in your head. So next time you think about like saying something that might be rude to someone, hurting someone, don't do it. It's not worth it, because usually if you do say stuff to hurt people, it's only because you feel hurt or you're jealous or something that comes from you. So why would you take something from you and put it on someone else when, who knows, they could be going through the worst of the worst, and then maybe that might be the one thing that breaks them down and makes them really upset. Talk to someone, get help. That is so importantly serious, to get help, because I used to think, oh, I'm fine on my own, blah blah blah, but no, I did need the support, and I got it, thank goodness. So yeah, get support, have someone to talk to, and cry it all off. Just cry it all out. Don't be ashamed to shed a tear. You were born on this earth, and you've made it this far. You were not born on this earth to die straight away. You were born on this earth to live your life to the fullest, to do what you can, because you only live once. Don't be afraid to tell people. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid. So it has two meanings, the word fear, which my friend told me this quote. It is either forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Cue the montage.
My name's Logan, and I was here because my friend said of the suicidal awareness, and I just want to say some things. It's going to be okay. If you've been hurt or whatever, it's absolutely fine. We all get these days and these moments, but you don't need to jump. It's okay. You don't not need to do anything like that, because you're special in your own way. And I am moving in my chair like I really don't know why. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Keep on living. Bye.
You don't know me, but my name is Lily, and I am one of Domenica's closest friends, or at least I hope so. I'm not going through as much as you guys are going through with what you want to do, but I want you to know that life is a gift, and giving that up because times are tough isn't worth it. Life goes through phases, and it sucks and it's horrible, but we should never end our lives because it gets to that point. I'm sending you all my prayers and all my hopes that you'll be okay, and everything will work out. In fact, I know that everything's gonna work out from here on out, and these thoughts going through your heads right now are most of the time not real, because our emotions aren't always real. We just feel things based off of a thought, and we can control that even though it feels like we can't. There's so much I want to say to you all, but this has to be a short little comment, so I love you all, and I hope that you're all okay and you'll all be fine, and that I'm sending you my hopes, I'm sending you my prayers, and I hope that you have an amazing, amazing life from here on out, and I hope that you don't struggle anymore now or from in the past and that it's all okay.
Hi guys, so some of you might know me as really cheery or really laughy, but I will admit I do have problems myself. Nothing that I want to go into lengths here, but the problem with me was I waited until way too late to talk to someone. I use my laughs and my smiles and my jokes to hide. I use them as a shield from everyone else. And that's fine, you don't want everyone to be invading on your private space. But as soon as that shield becomes too thick, and you're relying on it too much, and there's no one, and you're not talking to anyone, then that's a bad thing, because you're going to hurt yourself. So you need to talk to someone. Okay, there's no harm that can come to you as long as it's with someone you trust. You know they're not going to hurt you. Okay? As long as it's with someone you trust, you have to talk to them. Otherwise that shield becomes too thick, and then everything hurts.
Hi. So, I know people who have been affected by suicidal thoughts, people who are really, really close to it. And I know that it's really, really incredibly difficult for them, and it's difficult for people who go through that. But what I think that people should know is that there is always someone there, people around them who love and care for them. There's always people there. They just need to reach out to people, tell people how they feel, and just for someone there to be there to listen to them. And it can make you feel so much better. And that there's always, like, even if you feel like there's no one there, there's people that you can call and just tell them how you feel, and people can help. Just being around other people and talking to other people who have been through the same thing, to like so they can support each other. I think that would be really good. But honestly, always know that there's someone out there who can help you and that you're not alone, and it's really good.
Hi, I've been asked to share my own personal experience with suicide. There are two main seasons in my life where I vividly remember struggling with suicidal thoughts. The first time was in my teens. I believe I was around 14, 15 years old, somewhere in there. And it was because of the toxic environment of my home. I'm a survivor of mental, emotional, and verbal abuse. And so just during that time of my life, it was very difficult, and I didn't want to live. To be honest, at that time, I believe what kept me alive was my faith in God, my fear of hell, and probably just being afraid to die. You know, I didn't have the courage to actually do it. So that's one season I remember. And then the second season in my life was was during my divorce, and especially after my divorce. I was feeling very, very low about myself. I felt like a complete failure. And I think what hit me the hardest about the divorce is that my children were suffering as a result. And so what got me through that was, again, just wanting to be alive for my children. I didn't want them to have to suffer the loss of me being gone, because I knew how much I meant to them. So if there's anyone else out there who has struggled or is struggling with suicidal thoughts, I know what it feels like. I know you feel like you're all alone. You feel like nobody cares. Sometimes it can feel like you're just sucked in a black hole where there is no escape. But just know that you're not alone. And I know that sounds very cliche, you know, to say, but you really aren't. You aren't the only person to have issues or have trials or have difficulties in your life. Everybody, to some degree, goes through troubles, goes through heartaches, goes through depressions. I know for me, I realized that I realized that I did suffer from depression, unbeknownst to me. So yeah, you're not alone. Also be mindful of what's going on in your mind. Typically, negative thoughts can drag you down, can bring you down. Meditation can help. Prayer can help. I'm a big advocate for counseling and therapy, as long as with someone who is safe and trustworthy. And if you are having suicidal thoughts, find a trustworthy, safe person to talk to about it. Also, journaling, writing out your thoughts can also help. And trying to think what else. Prayer, if you're a big believer in prayer. So that's just what I have to share. It's tough. You know, life isn't easy. And the more I live, I'm 48 years old, the more I live, the more I realize that life happens to the best of people. I think it's a human experience to go through trials, or a human commonality to go through trials. So keep your head up. You're not alone. I hope what I've just said will help you prevent from taking your life, because last thing, somebody does care for you, and somebody would be very heartbroken and very, very sad if you decided to take your life. God bless.
I think that I have no purpose in this world. I'm just another mistake. What's the point of me existing here? Well, the truth is, you're not a mistake. You know why? Because God never makes mistakes. He never has and never will. And He has a plan for each one of you out there.
Hello, my name is Dove, and I'm going to talk about mental health in the foster system. So I spent over 3 years in the foster system, and I was fostered with Bernardos, and I had a lot of supports put in place to help me. But I know with other kids there isn't, and I would just say that they need to have more resources for their children to talk to, more people that they can open up to. I had several people that were so helpful to me. One in particular being Susan. I still talk to her. She was just lovely and she was so helpful. But I think people just need to talk. That's my main message. Talk to someone if you're struggling, because I bottled a lot of things up and I've always felt better once I've spoken about them. It does eat away at you, and although you think you can deal with it on your own, you can't. Please find help. There's always someone there to help. So just ask for it. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. There is always someone there.
Hi, so my name's Ellie, and obviously talk about suicide, right? Suicide is a big part of the world today. We can't stop it, but it's actually quite hard. We get told to be ourselves but change it because we're not good enough. We get people calling us ugly, that we're not worth it. You get texts saying, kill yourself, hope you die, you're fat, you're ugly. I don't understand why people say that. I've been told to kill myself many times. I had a friend who got told to kill himself, and he did. By everyone's suicide, there's at least 20 people affected by it. And the moment I lost my friend, I was in shock and pain, and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't believe it. I've always regretted the fact that I wasn't there. I was there, but I didn't help more. That I tried, but it wasn't good enough. But the fact is that no matter how hard I tried, everybody else was just making it worse and worse for them. Suicide is not something to mess around with. It it's a big part of the world. Sometimes it's inevitable, but sometimes it's not. But the thing is, everybody is at least going to once think about killing themselves because of society. Thanks.
Honoured to be asked to be part of this. So I'm just going to jump straight in. I'm 46 years old, I'm going to be 47 in just over a month's time. I'm a dad. You know, I have a lot of the things that other people look at and think, if you have those things, then everything's, you know, hunky-dory. But I wanted to share really the reality of feeling very depressed and feeling so depressed that you feel suicidal. I wanted to sort of share really just and debunk the whole thing about being suicidal or feeling suicidal. Often you can feel like that, and it doesn't necessarily manifest or show up as, hey, I want to kill myself. Often it's much more subtle than that. For me, I've had a few occasions in my life where I've been at that stage because of various circumstances, really. And for me, the first time I ever really experienced the sense of quite simply not wanting to be here, came really out of a sense of guilt and anger and frustration and feeling like I just wasn't worthy to continue to live, basically. That's when I was in my late teens, I would say. And around about that time as well, I would self-harm and do different things like that as well, because I was very unhappy and very angry, and lots of things that were going on in my life were just awful. The most recent experience I've had of just not wanting to be here was about 2 years ago, when I was going through a divorce. And like I say, it's the whole thing about suicide is it can come very subtly to your mind sometimes, and especially as an adult and as a man, you know, it's probably a lot of people just probably don't think, oh, grown-up men don't experience that. It must be, you know, teenage boys and girls that experience that. Surely it can't be grown-ups. But the highest cases of suicide, I think, other than teens in the UK, are actually adult men around about my age, believe it or not. And I thank God every day that I haven't become one of those statistics. But I remember 2 years ago when I was going through all that stuff, I remember walking to work one day, and I remember very casually, very logically thinking to myself, as I looked at all the big trucks and stuff on the road, I thought to myself, if I just took one step in front of one of those big trucks, my life would be over and I would be gone, and everybody, my children, everybody in my life would be so much better without me in it. You know, everybody's life is complicated because I'm in it. And I honestly struggled with that belief. Now again, you know, I've come so far from that now that I realise that that was just a lie. And I chose not to believe it, and I literally thank God that I didn't believe it. I know that I've been put on this planet to do many things. I have a purpose and I have a reason to live. And I believe every single human being does, even whether you feel that way or not, is not the point. It's a fact that all of us have a reason and a purpose to be here. And, you know, you may debate it. I don't care, but I know it to be the truth. All of us are made unique. And if we were to take our own lives, we would rob the entire world of what it is that makes us and the influence that we can have. So I just want to encourage anybody who's seen this to speak to or get in touch with any of the numbers and the links that are going to be in this video or after the video, and speak to someone. And don't suffer alone, because the big thing about feeling suicidal is the more that we keep it to ourselves, the more powerful it feels. And I'm telling you, when you're able to offload and tell someone how you're feeling, it's an amazing thing to know that someone else is willing to carry the burden with you, even just to listen. We don't always have answers, but it's good to listen. And on the other side, I encourage you to actively ask your friends, no matter what age you are, if you feel like they're feeling depressed or down, is to have the courage to say to them, do you ever wish you weren't here? Because that one conversation could be what saves their life. So, be encouraged. All of us have a reason to be alive and a reason to be here. Thank you.
Suicide is never the answer. There's always other reasons to live, if not for yourself, but for others around you. And if you don't think that the people around you would care, then you can always find other hobbies and different things to keep you going and to keep you motivated, like music or painting.
You have to know the darkness before you can appreciate the light. You were given this life because you were strong enough to live it. Place your hand over your heart. Can you feel it? That is called purpose. You're alive for a reason, so don't ever give up. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it.
You are not alone.
Thank you everyone who shared personal experience or said something encouraging. I hope this helps you who are struggling, or just if you needed to hear this. And please look at the description for help.
Love yourself because you're worth it and you're perfect. Every smile you make makes someone's day, so please stay on the earth and don't go away.